the Truth Uncompromised Show. I am your host, Rhonda. Join us every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Truth is peace. Truth is freedom. To love, live, and be. We are Truth Uncompromised.
We are in the age of truth, freedom, love, prosperity, abundance, and peace. Welcome to Truth Uncompromised.
You have entered into a dimension of truth. Time does not exist, and illusions are shattered. The journey of truth is intense. The journey of truth will set you free. Consider this a warning as you enter the dimension of truth uncompromised.
Still unamalgamated. Heartbeat, the sound of the bass drum. Come with your best shot, I'll take one. Rumble in the jungle, I'm a lion. Stand up for your Mazine nation. For these generations, we the people lost but not forgotten. Tribal rivalry is the problem. One love, the key for what we locked in. Don't call me Bring on the giant, I'm ready to brawl. No giving up, flowing in my veins. Like a champion, I feel that I will never surrender. Born with the soul of a warrior, I will remain a contender. Born with the soul of a warrior, I will. Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey, 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 hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. I rule my dominion. I'm part Asian, Indian, Dominican, back to Hindu, Dravidian, so Mexicano loco, man. Yes. Egyptian fits my description. Yes. I'm training hard for the mission. Yes. I'm a country boy from the south, and mama said knock you out. I'm in the ring like the bigger they come, the harder they fall. Bring on the giant, I'm ready to brawl. No giving up, flowing in my veins. Like a champion, I feel that I will never surrender. Born with the soul of a warrior, I will remain a contender. Born with the soul of a warrior, I will. If you're down for one love and one people, let me hear you say, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey, 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 hey. One finger in the air, hey y'all, hey y'all. Somebody wanna yama see me break it down, down. Watch me break it down, down. Watch me break it down. Somebody know that yama see we break 'em down, down. Yeah, we break 'em down, down. Yeah, we break 'em down. The bigger they come, the harder they fall. Bring on the giant, I'm ready to brawl. No giving up, flowing in my veins. Like a champion, I feel that I will never surrender. Born with the soul of a warrior, I will remain a contender. Born with the soul of a warrior, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Stand strong.
All right, fam. Welcome to the Truth Uncompromised show. I am your host, Rhonda, and tonight is I think this is winter solstice. But anyhow, December 21st, we have a great show planned for you. We are on the 5th episode of this impromptu series called Blue Blood is Black Blood, the original Nobility, Part 5. Before I get started, shout out to Nisi Poo, the little flute thingy. I think I cut it off a little too early before you can see. That is her original piece. Yeah, Nisi Poo, you need to go on and drop that album because, child, I tried to listen to Andre 3000 stuff, and baby, it had gave me a headache. I couldn't do it. So, I didn't like it. I'm just saying. Let me hit record.
Recording in
anyhow,
progress.
that flute piece is original from Nisi Poo. So, with that said, welcome everyone. I'm gonna give a shout out to the chat, YouTube family chat. Shout out to son Scotty. He is working tonight. Okay, getting his ends. All right, son. So you stay getting your ends. You don't come on here until you got safely up in the crib. Okay, don't mess up your ends. So shout out to son Scotty. Good to see our cousin KW in the house from the UK. Good to see you, beloved. Shout out to RDT. Shout out to sis Stephanie. Who else I'm missing? Shout out to Mother Queen Ottawa. Shout out to Mohawken N. Good to see you. Mohawken I am. Good to see you, beloved. Shout out to sis Nonya. Sis Nonya was the one that sent me the drop that I posted. was it Friday? Child, I can't remember if it was Friday, last Friday or Monday, with the sister that had pulled the records on the business that was being done over here by the Black Europeans. So we'll talk about that because it hit me after I had posted that, what she had really stumbled upon. So we'll touch on that shortly. And I know, sis, I'm so behind on everything. I'm behind on emails, y'all, responding to stuff. My schedule has just been really crazy. So I just haven't gotten through everything. So shout out to Sis Nunya. Shout out to Kimba. Shout out to Sis Angela. Shout out to Brother Joe 47. Good to see you. Shout out to Copper Color Brown. And then shout out to the YouTube family joining us. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Before I get started, sending a happy birthday shout out to Sis Sandra. This is Sis's birthday. So she is kicking back, doing her thing. Whatever you doing, sis. Hope you have a good time, girl. Okay, go on and enjoy yourself, sis, whether or not you're relaxing or you're going out, whatever the case may be. So happy born day to Sis Sandra. Okay, sis, I would play you a little song, but you know how YouTube is all funky. Baby, I can't even play the regular happy birthday. I can't even sing that MF without getting a copyright strike. But nonetheless, sis, I hope you enjoy your day. All right, fam. So let me see. I don't think I'm going to go into any news tonight because I think I talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. I do want to, however, bring up a sister that put a video out, and let me just go real quick because I definitely want to be respectful and give her the credit that she deserves. So let me go check it out because she really, I think what she did, this is my take on it. All right, so right quick, I want to reference the video. Damn it, Rhonda. Hold on a sec, fam. I think I put it on dashboard. I think it was Friday. Last Friday, community tab. I think it was last Friday. So hold on, fam. I'm trying to get there. I think the information, the research that she is doing is absolutely wonderful. It's the 1619 Project is a fraud. I am going to post the YouTube video link. Now, here's the thing. She literally went and got the official records from the Virginia company. And I was like, number one, that's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely freaking brilliant that she did that. Lisa Cypher. Okay, so I'm posting, I'm going to pin the link to her video at the top of the channel. Why won't it let me pin it? I'm going to try to pin it. Baby, I don't know why YouTube is doing this. Anyhow, so she went and got she went and got the Virginia company records, okay, the business records on how they were conducting trade, okay, so meaning who had the ships, what was coming through, this, that, and the third, and I was just fascinated. My mouth kind of dropped open because it was always my theory that the 1619 Project was a bold-faced lie, okay? So I know y'all are familiar with what they say the 1619 Project is, But, I don't like to lie upon nobody. So, baby, let's just real quick do a summary. And then I'm going to go into what I feel it's really about. And shout out to that sister who is really bringing up additional evidence of what it is really about. Okay, so just as a reminder for those of you that don't know what they claim it's about. Hold on a sec, fam. Where's my share screen? Child, trying to get it together. All right, there it is. All right, so I just pulled anything. You can definitely do your thing. Yeah, wait, sis, on your my take on where I'm going with this, cause baby, it just hit me like boom. This sister right here, what this sister right here just did, what this sister right here just did. So bear with me, y'all. So for those of you that are not familiar with what the 1619 Project is, it is the goal of the 1619 Project is to reframe American history by making explicit how slavery is the foundation on which the United States of America is built, and by considering what it would mean to regard 1619 as the nation's birth year. Okay, so includes a table of contents for the 1619 Project, an introduction by the New York Times, whatever the case may be. Okay, so as you can see, it is an actual book. Okay, a dramatic expansion of a groundbreaking work of journalism. Yeah. The 1619 Project, a new origin story, offers a profoundly revealing vision of the American past and present, reframing the country's history by placing the consequences of slavery and the contributions of Black Americans at the very center of the United States national narrative. Okay, so a companion piece to the 1619 Project features objects from when you know it's some foolery involved, baby. And when it's some altering of history and historical events, Smithsonian is always there for that work, right? So featuring objects from the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture. Yeah. So this is just the table of contents. As you can see what they are trying to go on. Okay, because I don't understand how all of the rest of this. Okay, I could see the middle passage. Crispus Atticus, which is Black European, but whatever the case may be. All right. So you could kind of get this. Now, I'm surprised they even have a chapter. Well, I guess they got one page dedicated. So, my bad on the Black Seminoles. Mm-hmm. Okay. And, more than likely they're saying that they were all slaves. But nonetheless, I'm surprised they even put that in there. Okay. All right, so you all get the gist of the table of contents, okay? And then here we go, Messy Jesse. They got to put him in here because he was the one that brought forth to the public from changing the description from Negro to African American, okay? So that was done in, I want to say either 88, 85, something like that. So it wouldn't surprise me that Gatekeeper, Messy Jesse was involved, okay? So as you can see, they even have developed curriculum. You don't say. You don't say. You mean a curriculum regarding slavery? Let me sip this water. Okay, then. So that's what they tell us 1619 is really about. How Black Americans went from the Middle Passage. This is pretty much what they're saying. When Black Americans start coming over, and it wasn't coming over, were kidnapped off the coast of Africa, got they behind beat. Okay, so white man pulled up in the boat, whooped on some people, whooped on the indigenous Africans, and enslaved them. And then the other narrative is the African chiefs sold their people into slavery. Okay? And that was 12 million Africans coming over to the Americas. Right? So this is supposed to be telling the journey of Africans' journey from Africa over to the Americas as slaves, and then their subsequent experience throughout. Okay? So just to recap, when we want to talk about these supposed 12 million Africans, all right, just to recap from last week, and then we're going to get into a little bit more of this 1619. Because, see, I love how folks allegedly and supposedly doing all of this research. Blink 75 times, blink 75 times, blink 75 times. But don't none of this other stuff come up. I just love how you got all this research. Blink 75 times. And you could come up with these numbers. I don't see where you backing up these numbers. But other independent people can tell you where you get that 12 million number from and how the official narrative is not accurate. Now, we went over this last week. I'm only going over it again. So, number one, so you all are again aware. So when somebody hits you with these millions and millions of Africans, you make them prove it. Okay? Like I said last week, shout out to the people from the Lou. You got to show me. Prove it. Okay? So, just real quick, now I'm talking about the 1619 project, because remember, supposedly and allegedly, all these Africans came to did over to the Americas, all right? Starting in gear in 1619. Okay? But see, all I have to do, Rhonda didn't wake up out the bed and put this database together and these estimates. I want to say the University of Emory. Don't quote me on that, but I think it is. You can go to the homepage, all that. I don't feel like it, this, that, and the third, 4, 5, and 6. Okay? Slavevoyages.org. When they throw that 12 million number, this is where they're getting it from. Okay? Because they know exactly who came over here, when, and from where. All right? So as you can see, this is from the 1500s to 1866. Right? So you got from Spain, Portugal, Great Britain, Netherlands, USA, France, Denmark. Okay? So if 12 million people hit the United States, why don't it say that on their numbers? I wait. Let me go on and sip my water. 1619 people. 1619 project people. I don't even see in 1619 on these records. On the slave voyage is its plural records where you documented any incoming slaves from said transatlantic slave trade. And the total, if you break it down from 1626 on down to 1875, it's only a total of 305,000. Okay? So right there, 1619 project, we have a huge discrepancy. But that's okay, because we're going to get to where you even came up with the 1619. We're going to get there. Bear with us, sister. Okay, so let's put all of these back on so you all can understand what they did. When they talk about 12 million, they're talking about the total. Because the highest was from Brazil, 5.8. Okay? So right there we have an issue. 1619 project. We have an issue. Okay. Now bear with me. Let me pull up my other stuff. We're going to get where they're talking about the true 1619, where they really got this from. Now, this was always my opinion based on the information that Assist sent me a couple years ago, and shout out to her for sending me this information. I've did several drops on this information. She wants to remain anonymous, and I will respect her wishes. When she did sent me a book on the 1619 Project Kent visitation. So hold on. Let me pull it. And then I'll tie it into what the sister had uncovered in her particular video. And please go check out her video. I was just fascinated with, what the hell is this? What's this in the middle of? You don't, hold on, y'all. God damn it. Sorry. This is pissing me off. Now you want to do some maintenance. So hold on. I'm going to go to the source. PDF be getting on my nerves. It really, really do. So we have a problem with the 1619 narrative. A big problem. All right. I can't stand PDF. All right, so let me try this again. Hold on, fam. All right. Okay, so as you can see, this is from the public library. Hopefully, let me make sure it came up for y'all, YouTube. Yeah, there it is. This came from the Library of City of Boston. Okay. Right. Just showing you again. Yeah. Publication, blah, 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 4, 5, and 6. The Visitation of Kent. Taken in the years 1619 to 1621. Okay? Now remember, we just saw, hold on, y'all, I hope I don't make y'all dizzy. We just saw with the estimates, USA, Great Britain. Da, 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 da. Get this off of there. This is their numbers of the transatlantic, and their estimates at that, transatlantic slave trade. It don't even start in the U.S. back to 1619. Okay? But yet, this particular book is talking about the visitation of Kent. Okay, that's out of England. 1619 to 1621. Okay? All right. So the visitation of Kent, known as the visitation of 1619, was taken in the years 1619 to 1621. Okay? Okay, so it's going to go into the volumes and all of that, and child, I ain't trying to go through all that, but you can read it yourself. Okay? They are listing all of the particular surnames. Okay? But we're going to continue. So y'all know, let me try to blow this up for you, beloved. Okay, because I want y'all to see these surnames. Because if you are melanated, some of your people probably hold, or you probably carry rather, these surnames. Okay? Very well documented. Very well documented. All right. They even went into, like, some of the main surnames went into the coats of arms. Y'all know the coats of arms that I be posting periodically that show Black Europeans, blackity, black, black, black. Because you know the official narrative that if you are blackity, black, black in the Americas and you carry a European surname, that you got that from a white slave master. But yet, and still, we find coats of arms with black folk on them with some of these said surnames. Okay? Now, hold on, because you may be thinking, well, Rhonda, this is about white people. Just hold on. Just hold on for a sister, okay? But just take note of some of these particular surnames. They break down the description of the crest. Okay? Because when they're doing those coats of arms and those crests, they have to be approved to be official. They are well documented. Okay? All right. So they go into, some of the main players, the peeps. You see James, the first one on here. Okay? Clark, Tucker, and y'all can go on in here, and then they start going into some of the different lineages that's tied to these surnames, this, that, and the third. Okay, very, very well documented. Okay, so you may want to pull through, give this a little download and read yourself and see if your people's surname is in here. Okay, very, very well documented. But I'm not done. Just hold on, be patient with me. Okay. I may have to go back on the screen to find really what I'm trying to look for, because I want to get to the part where they show that these particular people, when they describe the description of these people, you're going to see black, 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 brown, brown, black, and there are some white in there. Okay? So that's what blew my mind when I ran across this information. Shout out to Sis that sent it to me. Hold on, I got to search on what I'm looking for on these records. That's what blew my mind when I was reading through this. And I'm like, wait a minute, this has all of the surnames. And then when I ran across the descriptions, I'm like, these are black folks in here, black and brown people. So when they talk about the 1619 Project, in my opinion, wasn't about no slavery from Europe. Not slavery from you. It wasn't about slavery from Africa. It was really about black Europeans coming over to the Americas in masses. Okay? Now watch now, I can't find it because I really didn't intend to pull this up. So bear with me, y'all. I promise it's in here, y'all. I promise it is. Nonetheless, you can go through this book yourself. I'm trying to find it. I know it's in here. Where you see majority of the people in this particular 1619 Kent Visitation book, the description of them are black and brown. Now, were there some whites in here? Absolutely. Absolutely, there were some whites, but very, very few whites. Majority of them, their descriptions were black, brown. Okay? So I may have to come back to pull the actual, show you all the actual descriptions, but nonetheless, it is here. So again, in my opinion, 1619 Project, it was not, the official truth of it is not a transatlantic slave trade. Their own numbers do not back that up. Just doesn't back that up. So I am looking at a book that does give descriptions of black folks and brown folks called the 1619 Project. So that would lead me to believe, wait a minute. This was really, they switched it out. They're justifying the numbers from black Europeans coming over to the Americas as either indentured servants or which means two folds. I want us to remember when we say indentured servants, it's two scenarios. Either folks were coming over here on a work contract, okay? So meaning they were getting paid and they had to pay back the money. Let's say if you didn't have money to buy your boat ticket to come over here. All right, well, we'll front you the money to come over here, but as you work and get paid, we're going to take back, you got to pay us back out of your check, basically. That's the first scenario. Second scenario was, we need people to go to the Americas to work those lands because we have a new business venture. Okay. You know what? Let me open up, go on and see all these people that's in prison, okay, and especially the political riffraff. Let's go on and offer them, because we tired of feeding y'all this, that, and the third. Those are the ones we don't want to put to death, whatever the case may be. Let's see if they want to go over to the Americas to serve out their prison sentence. And then some that was in that category was just all the way banned, meaning they could not return to Europe. Okay? So I just find it awfully, awfully, awfully strange that they give us a 1619 slavery story. We can't find the records to justify those millions of numbers that they're talking about. But yet here we have a 1619 project with the description of the people majority of them are black and brown. I just find that odd. Okay. So the importance of the video that the sister put out is this. This is the correlation, because she brought up in her video showing where she pulled the actual records from the Virginia company, okay, from 1619. And was showing how it was all about business, how it was very well documented. So this to me is complimenting this 1619 Kent visitation. Okay? Only thing they did was switch it out and say that it was white people versus black people, and put the label of African slaves on the black people, when that was the furthest from the truth. Okay? Now here's the other take. All right, let me get ready. Yeah, I still ain't found this description. Damn it, I know it's in here because I did a drop on this. So my bad. It's in here, fam. It's in here. I wasn't prepared to do this because I would have sought it out and had an example for you all. Here's my take. What that sister brought up, because I thought about when we were going through Brother Godfrey's work last week, when he was going over the Dutch stuff and how everything was whitewashed, and he talked about a melanated Dutch plantation owner that was literally a billionaire. It hit me then, after I got off the air, of course. I said, wait a minute. Because he said that particular person was dabbled in, he made his fortune from the transatlantic slave trade in Brazil. And immediately that made sense to me as far as why he was so rich, because I knew, based on slavevoyages.org's numbers, that the highest, quote, quote, official documented slave trade was in Brazil. It's like 3 point something, I think it was 3.8 million. So that would make sense why he had the wealth. Where I am going with that is, does he realize that he just named one of a huge plantation's, quote, quote, slave owners? And it wasn't a white man, it was a black man. So the business side of me thought, well, if that's the case, then reparations people, I'm giving you game why you'll never win the reparations argument, because you are using the wrong argument. You know, they have these official records of who these plantation owners were. Blink, blink, blink. Blink, blink. Blink, blink. So now, if your ancestry tracing back to the Americas out of Brazil, and you're saying your people were trafficked via slavery, the transatlantic slave trade in Brazil, you know who Big Daddy is. Problem is, Big Daddy wasn't a white man. Big Daddy was a black man. Okay? Dutch, with ties to France. I can't remember if he was indigenous Dutch or if his old lady was indigenous friends. I can't remember. Nonetheless, that ain't the point. Gonna say this again for the people in case you're not comprehending what I'm saying. The reason why you cannot win a reparations argument because you're having the wrong conversation. They know who did what on these shores because I keep telling you all it was business. It wasn't about race. So in other words, if you pull the business records, you'll get the plantation owners. So if you want to have the conversation about reparations and who owes what to whom, that's the route you have to go. But you got to let go of the doctrine that it's going to be a white man. Because more than likely, when you pull them records and you go back to that family, it's going to be a black man. And that particular black man will more than likely be tied to a company. Blink, blink, blink. Are you catching what I am telling you? So when that sister pulled the records of the, she said 1619 project is fake, but when she pulled the records, the business records of the Virginia company, I'm just going to sip my water again. Reparations people, who should you be going after? I'll wait. This is why it's important. If you're going to join a movement, if you're going to, quote, quote, you want a seat at the table, you got to understand the true origins of what you're asking for, why you're asking for it, and you have to have the documented proof. You can't come up in there with no doctrine. They already know. They know who did what when because they got the records. So if that sister was able to find the records, just like Codfried was able to find the records, that means this information is accessible. So if you're asking for reparations based on an African slave trade narrative, where's your proof? That's why it's never going to go anywhere. They don't care that they told you that it was about race. They don't care that they told you that you were from Africa and your people came over here as slaves. They don't care about none of that. Because see, now what you saying is you finna try to sue the U.S. corporation for participating in the slave trade. And that's where I'm from the Lou. You're going to have to show me. This is why it is important to know where your people came from. And if they were enslaved, there should be records that they were enslaved. And there should be records who was the slave holder. Now I'm going to put you up on game. All right? I don't want to get sidetracked. Reparations people, listen to me. You go after the companies. Have your proof. You got to have your proof. You got to prove that great-great-great-great-grandma and them such this, that, and the third, 4, 5, and 6 was enslaved. Go after the companies. I'll just pause. We are telling you this information because this is why these conversations keep spinning around in circles and they keep going nowhere, because it's not based on what really happened. And this ain't me hating on your heritage. I'm putting you up on game on why it doesn't go anywhere. And also kind of showing you that the people that's raising that reparations flag, you better make sure they know what they're talking about. You better make them prove all that they're saying. Because it's not going to happen just by a blanket statement. You're going to have your proof at hand. And if you have your proof at hand, this is just Amy's suggestion, you go after the companies, which they probably bankrupt this, that, and the other. But research them damn companies back to the family name. Nonetheless. Because the route you all are going, it'll never happen. You'll never get a payment out of that because that's not how the story went. Okay? So shout out to that sister who my mouth just dropped. And Sis Nonya sent me that information. And I get so many emails. And that one so happened, ran across my phone. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Wait, what? And I immediately stopped and looked at it. And I'm like, oh my God, does she realize what she has? She's given a whole playbook of the Virginia company's business dealings. Again, I keep telling you all, this was about business. And now people, shout out to them, doing the research, showing you this was about business. Now, nobody is saying that people were not enslaved. We know people were enslaved because we see the records. But even with that, you have to research from your individual cases in your family lineage. Was this your people that were, quote, quote, enslaving each other? And they were doing that for protection? Or, okay, if they truly were enslaved, was this your people really from Europe? And they were working on an indenture serving contract or a prison thing. They were working off a prison sentence. And then look at the slave owner. Is the slave owner white, slave owner black? Doesn't matter nonetheless. You got that link. Who the slave owner was. And then research that name to see, were they working for one of these big companies? So now who I'm going to go after? Am I going to go after individual Rhonda? Well, baby, you only going to get two nickels from Rhonda because, baby, I ain't got it. You going to get 2 nickels for Rhonda, or am I going to go after the big companies? Because as I recall, there is a recent lawsuit of a that didn't hit the courthouse steps because said music mogul producer, whatever the case may be, from the 90s that ripped off a bunch of folks. All right? And his ex or whatever relationship they had, it kind of seems like, I don't know about no being in no relationship thing. Kind of, it seemed like, to me, this just Rhonda's opinion, and I'm not downplaying what happened to her because the shit was just, I'm like, baby, I can't listen to this. This is just too disgusting, this, that, and the third. But it seems like some type of ring, if you catch my drift, starts with the T, ends with the K ring. That's just Rhonda's opinion. Okay? But she gathered her evidence enough. She did not. The checkmate was she did not go after him as an individual. She went after the companies. And that shit was settled within hours. Okay? So this is just Rhonda's opinion. I'm putting you up on game. But I am telling you, reparations will never go anywhere as long as you're having a blanket conversation about Africans being brought from Africa over to the Americas as slaves in the millions. Because the data does not back it up. That's not how the story happened. Okay? All right. So shout out to that sis. Let me just real quick. I do want to just show y'all her official site. So hold on. I think she did an excellent job on that. And y'all, please, any other content creators, please do not jack this sister's stuff and not give her her credit. I can't stand when bigger content creators, you do that, and then you pop up another video like you done straight up came up with the shit. Okay? You give this sister her credit. All right? So I'm just going to display for you all the exact video so you all can go to it yourself. I think I didn't pin it. I'll try to go back and pin it in the comments section. So go over there, watch her video, and also support this sister. She absolutely laid this out. So hold on a sec. Okay, so this is her particular YouTube channel. I thought this was I thought she named the video something different. Okay, maybe she changed it. Okay. This was a boss move, sis. Much respect. I ain't fencing to sit up here and lie. This was a boss move. The records of the Virginia Company of London, the Court Book Volume 1. Okay? So this is the sister's YouTube channel. Let me just grab this again and I'll put it back in the comments again. Go over there and show her your support. All right, fam. So hold on a sec. Let me drop this in her chat and then we're gonna keep it moving. Okay, yeah, I wanted to pin it to the top. If one of my mods, if you don't mind, I don't know why it wouldn't let me pin it to the top of the page because I wanted to pin it. But anyhow, yeah, go over there and support that sis. Okay. What crest, sis Nonya, the Virginia Company's crest? All of the crests, like I said, they're very well documented. You have to go and look at the different crest volumes. And I don't know if KW knows how frequent they issue those volumes of the crest, because they put them out, because those, if you look at the crest in those crest description volumes, it will tell you what each one of those symbols mean and all of that. It is very, very, very well documented. Okay, so it probably wouldn't take much to find out what that actual crest means, because all of those crests, in order to be official, it has to be approved. Literally, it has to be approved. So those black crests that we see, okay, you know, they're official. Okay? And especially, and shout out to the people that's done the research, shout out to them, where they even will show you, because I think I've even posted pictures of out of those crest books of the Black Crest. But in that book, they tell you specifically what each one of those symbols means, and like the origin of the crest as well. It is very well documented. All right. So it's no different when you hear Caucasian people talk about, their surnames and their family crest, and they take pride in it, and it's no knock to them. Do your thing. Absolutely no knock to them. The thing that was written out the story was that originally it was Black folks with those crests. The white people getting into those particular kings and queens courts, and intermarrying and getting put on. So the kings and queens mans in them, that came at a later date. But even with the white people's crest, it still had to be approved. Okay? So when you hear them talk about the House of Stuart, the House of Windsor, that stuff has to be approved. Okay? And that's approved by the kingdom. Because Windsor, that name had to be approved by one of the kings. As a matter of fact, it was a melanated king. Can't remember if it was Charles or George. Okay? So even that name Windsor that you know today had to be approved for use. Okay? Even the name Stewart had to be approved. Okay? But this stuff is very, very well documented. Okay, fam. So we're going to get back into, so shout out, sis. That was great work. You really did your thing on that. Much respect, much respect. All righty. So we're going to get back into the material. And we're going to, hold on, fam. Okay. And I haven't forgotten about our homework with the movie. Shout out to son Scotty. Child. All right, I'll re-give out the homework. Annie's nerves had got bad because I didn't get to leave the world behind. I'll get to that because I said I was going to watch Killers of the Flower Moon first. Okay, and that is about the migration story from some of the Indians coming out of Arkansas to Oklahoma. Okay, and those particular Indians, a fraction of them, remember they gave them the worst land that they thought wasn't fertile, but this particular group, they had oil on that land. Okay, so it's a hard movie, family, because it's nothing but treachery after treachery after treachery. It is long. It's over 3 hours long. I think I'm into like an hour and a half, and I had to keep stopping because it's difficult. You like, damn, this is a lot. Okay, so I know son Scotty, he's working tonight, so next week we'll break down the movie, but it's a lot of stuff in there for sure. I did at least get to the part where they referenced Tulsa, which was very, 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 very interesting to me. It's hard. It was a hard one, fam, to get through. So we'll go over that next week. So Killers of the Flower Moon, you all go ahead and go on ahead and check it out. All right. So we're going to get back into why we really started this series. Yeah, KW, it is eye-opening and it's sad. It's hard for me to get through it. So I have to keep stopping and breaking it down. We'll get to it because I had to get my nerves together. I'm like, oh, baby, I got to stop. Okay. So the purpose of this, why I started up this impromptu series, is by the work of this man, Egmond Codfried. He is a melanated man. This is from his material, the Suriname Blue Blood is Black Blood Museum. Okay. And he's going over the time periods from 1100 to 1848. So I got familiar with Mr. Codfried's work because most of the Black European paintings that you see floating around comes from his work. Okay. And I was getting my information like everybody else, you know what I'm saying, off the internet, just one person passing it to the other. And someone was posting it, and they were like, yeah, everybody is using this man's work. And I'm like, who? I said, I'm not like that. I like to give people credit for their work. Tell me who it is, and I will start crediting his particular work. And so that person, and I don't even remember who that person is, they just came under the comments and gave Mr. Codfried's name. I did a search and saw that he has published many bodies of work from on the academia side. And I have gotten like notifications of his work throughout the years. And I was mainly just focusing on the actual pictures. Okay. And so this came across a couple of weeks ago, the Suriname Blue Blood is Black Blood. And when I saw this Rembrandt, I'm like, oh, heck no. So I just started scrolling down and I'm like, wait a minute, this a whole book? And as soon as I just read the first paragraph, I'm like, okay, we're going to have to talk about it. But I did not expect for it to turn into a series because he was dropping so much information out the gate. And you can go back to the earlier episode 1, because out the gate, the first episode, he dropped a lot of heavy information about Prince William Orange being brown complected, okay? And he went through a lot of other stuff and talked about who was really the slaves back in the day. And it was not melanated people. He talked about melanated people holding the power over in Europe, etc., okay? So we spent an entire show just on one page. And I'm like, oh, Lord. We're going to have to make this into a series. Oh, Lord. Okay? So, that's where we are. Okay? So, you can go back to the other episodes to get to that point. And for those that want to know his sources, he does have the sources in here. Now, I'm going to say this. People that come in the comments and you want to say somebody else's sources are not accurate, please explain yourself. Provide a little more information. I don't mind being fair. Provide information on why you feel the source is inaccurate. Okay? Because we don't do blanket stuff over here. Okay? We take the approach of being from the loo. You got to show me. Okay? So again, you have a problem with someone's sources, please be specific. Because just coming in blanket, oh, they don't have no sources. You see this little footnote? That's the source. Their sources aren't accurate. Please point out which source isn't accurate. Okay? All right. Okay. So, you all can go back to the earlier episodes, the first couple of episodes, if this is your first time joining us. And he is showing how these particular portraits were pretty much whitewashed. Okay. And he even pinpointed, and I was tripping out when we were going through this document. I'm like, oh my God, I have all of these particular pictures that I have gathered over the years, and it comes from this man's particular research and work. All right, but he has even pinpointed where the whitewashing, because we use the term whitewashing, so meaning changing things from melanated, aka black, to white. He pinpointed where that started in the French Revolution. Okay, so people think he just pulled that out of his ass. Okay, no, he didn't pull it out of his ass, because I just jumped to another book, another source that showed the same exact thing. It cross-referenced what this man was saying, that the whitewashing took place at the start of the French Revolution. So hold on a sec, because I don't want y'all to think that, Rhonda making something up. Okay, Codfried is making something up. Don't nobody have no sources. 4, 5, and 6. So just hold on a minute. We will pull up, because ain't nobody just waking up out the bed coming up with this stuff. Okay? Nobody's waking up out the bed coming up with this stuff. So hold on. The particular information that this gentleman is putting out, Codfried, it literally can be cross-referenced with, and this is just one book. Okay, you have the J.A. Rogers. This is the Negro Rulers of Scotland and the British Isle. Okay, goes all the way back to 843 to the Alpine, and I said Alpine dynasty, and he's going all the way through. But, just so we're not confused, MacAlpine's descendants, Kenneth the Niger, the N-word, but nonetheless, Dub, the same as Duff or Duffy, it really means black or Niger. Okay? So out the gate, what he is saying, the first official, quote, quote, kingdom or rulership or dynasty, blackity, black, black, black. And they can trace this lineage all the way to King James and them, okay? Because, people come in my comments swinging all up in their feelings about King James and Charles Stewart and them. They blackity, black, 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 and they, well, I am the descendant, and I ain't Caucasian, and I ain't, Well, baby, I don't know what to tell you, baby. Because here's this evidence. Here's this picture of the Black King James Stewart. Here's a statue of Black boy Charles Stewart. So what you want from me, player? Now, I'm not trying to sit up here and argue with your heritage. Then I would be out the pocket. That's very disrespectful. But what I'm telling you is, you got black blood in you, baby. If you saying James them Stewarts are your people. It ain't the other way around. It was blackety black carrying those surnames before white folks' surnames. Okay? So again, nobody's waking up out of the bed making up this information. And it's not some of them. It is all of them. Okay? You see the Stewarts. King Robert the First. All of these people, black. Edward the First. Richard the Second. Henry the who? Not Henry the Eighth. No. Not Henry the Eighth, who was killing off his wives when he was done with them, or whatever the case may be, banishing them. Not Anne Boleyn's old man. You know the Anne Boleyn that y'all got upset with. Not everybody, y'all that rock with me. Because I did a little vid, because I didn't make the movie. Rhonda didn't make the movie. I think it was Paramount that made the movie and cast a chocolate sister in there as Anne Boleyn. And people got their drugs in a bunch. And I just made a video. That was accurate. She was a melanated woman. Now, the inaccuracy that her old man, King Henry the Eighth, was white. No, he wasn't. He was melanated. He's just on the light skin side. Okay? So nobody is waking up out of the bed making this information up. So again, this whole first official empire starts with the McAlpine, and to me, that's probably been translated to McAlpine today. Started with him, okay? He was also known as, Kenneth McAlpine was also known as the Niger Val Dub. Okay, dub means black. Blackety, black. So you know that Dublin, black land, black. Okay, Duffy, black. Right? So all of the people that sat on the throne after him, black. His people now. The Stewarts. Just gonna point that out again, because I just love how people come in the comments swinging. I'm white, he couldn't have been black. Well, baby, I don't know what to tell you. Because according to the official history, over in the Americas, if you light-skinned, you got some white in your family. Yeah. Well, I need you to prove that to me. And there ain't nothing wrong with having a mixed lineage or a mixed heritage. It's nothing wrong with that at all. Do you rock on? But you cannot make a blank statement. Okay? Can't say that if you are light-skinned, you got white in your family. Just like white people, you can't assume that if you carry the Stewart surname or any of these other surnames all up and through here, that black people got your surname. Because your people own them. You sure about that, blood? Because what I need you to do, okay? I have adopted myself into the loo when we're talking about these sources and facts. I need you to run me that proof. I need you to prove to me where my people come from your people and it was some mixing going on. I need you to prove to me that my people are descendants of white slave owners, and because folks are light-skinned, it did. That's why. Because Big Mama and them somewhere was messing around with a white man or got taken advantage of. I need you to prove that. Because I can't speak for everybody else. What I am telling you is my records, I haven't seen that. I ain't seen no African. I have not seen a Caucasian, but I have seen Indians. I have seen Black Europeans. Okay? So again, just a refresher, Stuart Nim comes from Kenneth the Niger. Robert the First, King Robert the First, Robert the Second, Blackity Black Black comes from McAlpin. Okay, so if you have that the last surname of McAlpine, okay, this is where it's coming from. Okay, so we got your Richards up in here, Richard the First, Richard the Second, Black. Richard II, whose father was called Black Prince of Wales. Okay? You got your Edwards up in here. There go your Henrys them. You know, King Henry VIII, and Queen Anne Boleyn's old man, his people, Blackity Black Black Black. And you could just keep going through this. Now why I'm gonna cooperate with me. Okay? So don't come up in here telling me that this particular author of the Negro Rulers of Scott and the British Isles, that they telling a bald-faced lie. Like, you know, my grandma said, I don't know why she would say, a lie with no hair on his face. Big Mama, it was really bold-faced lie. But it just tickles me, so I always say bald-faced lie. So don't be coming up here talking about this particular man is telling the bald-faced lie either. Because you see this right here, baby. That's called footnotes. You can click these B's if you online. And it'll jump to the sources. And you can take your time to go look them up. And prove where they telling the bold-faced / bald-faced lie. So we ain't going for that one either. Prove it to me where these people are telling a lie. Now let's get back to it. Again, the Stuarts, Elizabeth, his cousin, this, that, and the third. See, by who? Charles. Who? Father Charles II. A tall, curled mouth, black skin, and curly hair man known in England as the Black Boy. So now you want to get up in my comments and tell me again, because you are Caucasian, when I say King Charles Stuart was black, you want to tell me again how that's not accurate? And don't come up in my comments telling me that an olive is white. Because, baby, let me tell you something. I ain't seen no light-skinned olive. I ain't seen it. I've seen a black olive. Seen an olive that looks on the purple side. Some say brown. And I've seen a green olive. So help me to understand Even the description of olive skin, how that translates to Caucasian. And I don't want to hear nothing about no Angelina Jolie, Trolley, Foley, baby. I don't want to hear shit about that. Because what you need to do is go in your cabinet and get them motherfucking olives, and you trying to tell me that they skin match up to that. Go find somebody else to play with. Your arguments are weak, and you out in these streets looking real, real bad. Go on, sit it down, bruh. Sus. Because what you should be saying, if your lineage links back to these people, oh, dang, you know, I got black blood in my lineage. Maybe your hair a little thick and wavy. Okay? Maybe your lips a little thicker. I don't know, baby. But see, what you're not fencing to do is tell these people that their heritage is wrong and yours is right. Okay? So please explain to me how again King Charles Stewart called the black boy, and we have said statue of him looking melanated all day long, was a white man. Go on and find somebody else to play with. Okay? All of these people were black. We done just went over the lineage of the people, starting from the black man at McAlpin, all the way up to the Stewarts. Blackety black. And I ain't gonna leave out King Henry VIII either. Because the pictures we do see of him, the original pictures, he would be what we call in the melanated community a red bone. Okay? He was light skinned. Okay? So again, people are not waking up out of the bed making this stuff up. Okay? All right. So even down to Queen Charlotte, who, yeah, okay, they do want to say that I think they said she was mulatto, she was mixed. But her husband, George, was white. No, he was blackety black too. Okay? Even that Saxe-Coburg name. And I've been trying to find that coat of arms. I know I got that coat of arms somewhere. The original one showing where they were melanated people as well. Black people. Okay? So just like Codfried said that the switching came from black people to white people being the face of power, he literally said the French Revolution. Now here we're in another book, The Negro Rulers of Scotland and the British Isle. The white peasant blood slowly spilled into the royal Negro Moorish blood following the what? The French Revolution. Okay? So no longer should there be any question of when the face of rulership occurred. We now should understand that it started with the French Revolution, right? But let's, because I want us to understand, because some people may think that white people jumped up out the bed and just started whooping up on black folks. And just took over the throne. Huh? Where they do that at? I need to know where they do that at. Because if I hold all the power, how the minority group overthrows the majority group. So I don't want you to think that white people came and just started whooping behind and overthrew these black European dynasties. No, that's not even how it went. Okay? So just bear with me. Damn, I hope I didn't go too far. Shit. And this is kind of recap, but a lot of times I have to keep bringing stuff up because I want you all to understand it, give you a chance to digest the information, and also give you a chance to go back and look up the sources yourself. Okay? Because everybody want to come and swing with generalizations. And then when you ask them for specifics, it's either an argument, you got to be called out your so-and-so name, this, that, and the third, 4, 5, and 6. Okay? So, I was trying to get to where okay, it's got to be up here. So basically, while I try to find this, but I want to give the proof. What he was saying is that white people this was not a case of white people overthrowing black people. Okay, when I say black people, I'm specifically talking about the black nobility rulers. Okay, he said it was pretty much a planned takeover, and it really wasn't a takeover. It was planned by the black nobility to start putting white people in these positions. Okay? I know that it's hard for people to fathom. I am not here to base it on how I feel, because I want to blame someone, and specifically, I want to blame someone who doesn't look like me. I have to be honest. I have to use critical thinking because it never made sense to me. And y'all see I'm stalling, y'all see I'm stalling, trying to find that where they put the white people on. I may have to go back up. But it never made sense to me how black rulership had all of that power and then all of a sudden it was white. And the story did not make sense to me that they were overthrown. Okay? Now, shout out to the Moors, those that carry that title, that label as Moors. You do have some of them that really, really know their stuff. I've learned a lot from them, okay? Because matter of fact, the first concept of white slavery, I heard from a gentleman that practices, I don't know if he still practices it, Moore's particular stuff. He was the first one that told me. And oh shoot, now that I think about it, he was saying he shut me down. Because we was talking about reparations. Sure was. If you listening, you know who you are. And baby, we don't even agree on everything. We might be behind the scenes, y'all be like, well, you gone with your bull mess 2, 4, 5, and 6. We may not even agree on everything. Okay? But the point being, he has given me a lot of jewels, and we were talking about reparations. And he was like, Rhonda, how do you think people are going to get reparations? I'm like, well, what do you mean? How I mean people going to get reparations, blah, 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 5, 6, and 7. And he was like, are you sure that's how it happened? And I just stopped dead in my tracks. I'm like, do tell me more. It's like, you do know they were white slaves. He was the first person I heard even talk about white slaves. Okay? So again, it never made sense to me. Well, if white people were the minorities and they were slaves also, how did they rise up to be a powerhouse if black people were in rulership? It couldn't have been from them overthrowing. It had to be from them being put on. Okay? And so even down to some of these paintings, where's the search on this? Damn it, y'all, I'm struggling. It's in here, y'all, I promise. Even down to some of the paintings that we're saying have been whitewashed. Even those particular paintings. Now, I'm not saying all of them. Okay, I'm just going by the information that he gives. Even those were commissioned. Okay, I'm going back up. Even those were commissioned by those same black nobles to change it from black to white. Okay. And so I think he said it in here and also in the one book that we just left on how the trend became in Europe for folks to have all of that damn white powder on their face. Okay. So no matter how you try to slice or dice this, black people were in rulership. So let's just go back over this so we are clear. Black people were in rulership over in Europe. Okay? Check. Right? We're not talking about some. We're not talking about, we're talking majority. We're talking the very first organized dynasty out of Scotland started with black people. Okay? Over in the Americas, we still waiting on where you getting all these slaves from. Where are you getting all these African slaves from? Because even your official records, slavevoyage.org, don't back up what you're saying. So that would mean to me that a lot of these black people, if not most of these black people that you see here today over in the Americas, oh, you mean they people was already here? So if they were already here, that means they were the Indians, right? 1619 Project, I don't see in those slavevoyages.org records, I don't see your numbers being justified. Matter of fact, the documentation of the slave trade starts after that fact. But see, what we do have is a book called The 1619 Visitation of Kent, giving very detailed records of a whole bunch of people coming over. And my bad, I'm confusing the 1619 description from a Jacobite book. So my bad. That's why I couldn't find it in that 1619 Visitation of Kent. Now, we do have a bunch of surnames, all of that. Lot of surnames coming over from Kent. Okay. 1619 Visitation. Then if you check out the Jacobite documentation, that's where they give the description. My bad. Baby, I'm mixing up my books. Shit, I be reading so many books. I be mixing the shit up. I'm sorry. I apologize up in advance. Okay? Them Jacobites. Okay, you finna get pissed off again. Because them Jacobites weren't black. I'm sorry, they weren't white. They were black. We, yet again, have documentation of them ship manifest. It was very detailed. Gave the skin description, height, build, black, black, brown, brown, black, black, brown, brown, black, black, white, black, black, brown, brown, black, black. So again, I'm still waiting on all of these white people that came over in these positions of power. I'm still waiting on the proof of these, thank you, Jacobite gleanings. I'm like, I know, what's the other book? I know it was a book with the description. Thank you, beloved. Jacobite gleanings described in detail black folks coming over. Okay? In detail. It was the ship manifest records. So again, I'm not understanding where these white people were in power. How, Sway? So, I'm still trying to find it, y'all. Damn, I'm pissed. I can't find it. But it's up in here about the black people putting the white people on. All right? So, just an example. President Thomas Jefferson, who had what? What ancestry did Blood have? He was blackity black black. I thought that Jefferson was a white man who had hooked up with Sally Nim. I think they say she was mulatto. She was mixed. He was a white man that hooked up with her. What you mean he was black? Yeah, he was black too. So President Thomas Jefferson, who had black European ancestry, and he was famous for who? What? I thought he had black slaves. Huh? Them founding fathers, and I posted that purposely, fam. Shout out to Brother Lee Cummings, The Negro Question, Part 7. Swathi Memoirs of a Black American Revolution, 1775 to 1783. It don't take you long, baby. All you got to do is out the gate, he comes swinging. On page 11, and I highly recommend you go pick up this brother's work. Very, very good read. It's easy to read. You should be able to give this to the babies. And they'll be able to read through it well, okay? Pretty much all of his work is like that, okay? And again, don't come with the foolery and the foolishness about somebody's sources, because I need you to be a little bit more specific. Because to be honest, when I first ran across this brother's work, I went and cross-referenced a couple of his sources. And I'm like, oh, nope. He the real deal. Okay. Let me get busy. Okay? So again, if you want to talk about research and proving what you say, Rhonda is not asking you to sit up here and believe her. I'm not asking you to sit up here and believe anybody else. I'm also not asking you to sit up here and believe these authors. Check their sources. Prove where they're, supposedly and allegedly not telling the truth. Now, I'm not saying I agree with everything on anybody. Hell, just like you don't have to agree everything that I say. I'm okay with that. But come on now. Use critical thinking. I'm not here to pass down doctrine. I'm not here to pacify and coddle anyone. Nobody gets a pass. I'm not here to placate to white people who get in their feelings about supposedly and allegedly, baby, they ain't got no black blood in their heritage, 4, 5, and 6, and black people trying to steal their heritage. I'm not placating to that. I'm not placating to black people who I dare you. You just don't want to be African, 4, 5, and 6. I don't care about any of that. Truth stands on its own. We're asking you to prove it. All right? Because we from the Lou. Okay, so let me pause. Brother Sean, you want to put something on it? Let me see. I may have to. Okay, there you go. Hey, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, well, I reckon that if people had done enough research and knowledge into self, they wouldn't have all that to do to be worried about somebody else is. I mean, that's what it's all about right now. I mean, we're sharing information, painting the big picture. As far as for the small shit, I say else to figure how they fit in.
You breaking up, brother.
Character role days. Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Yeah, everybody need to figure out what role they playing in all this. That's the only way for you to know something for sure.
Right.
Doubting everybody else, even though the sources, the author, whoever is right there. I mean, if you really got that many questions and that much doubt, there's the author, there's the footnotes, all the material that he used is right there. Go harass them people. Go tell them that they're wrong.
Exactly.
I mean, everybody ain't here to agree with everybody anyway.
Right.
Because, shit, everybody experiences is different. Everybody perspective is different. One person reality ain't the next person's reality. I mean, that ain't the shit I'm dealing with. So to try and put me in that category like I'm supposed to be sympathetic to understand what the fuck you talking about, I don't. It ain't me.
Right.
I don't. I don't vibrate that low.
Right.
I mean, the thing is, they hate themselves. If
Yeah.
all you got is time to sit up and try and tell somebody else who they are, you hate yourself. You don't have time to be you. And if that is your nature and your natural frequency, then Your time about done anyway. We ain't got to say or do shit. Because if everything is about getting that frequency up in order to ascend, you fucking yourself.
Right.
You're disrespecting your ancestors. Because when you do the research, your own genealogy, etc., it's not going to have you indigenous anywhere. I mean, some of y'all may go back to the Cabbage Patch. I mean,
You
I,
know.
I really don't know what all of their stories is, and I don't care.
Right.
We just know that it's been documented for as long as any of us would care to know that this everything was quote unquote melanated at first, so-called black. They historians even say that. So to sit up and try and dispute that now, I mean, you're lying to yourself.
Right.
They got to come back in. You got to pay them proper respects. You got karma to deal with if you don't repent, as you biblical people say. Oh yeah, and that reparation thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wrong terminology, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
N- Y'all favorite orange man. His executive order was about the whole human driving thing,
Right. Right.
and crimes against humanity, this, that, or the other, that all funds would be confiscated, this, that, or the other. So if he going along with what he's saying, and that is happening, and everybody is allegedly and supposedly been to Gitmo, and we got all these crash test dummies running around, people in masks, and all this, that, or the other. The very corporations that you would be trying to go after, he didn't already took all their money. So y'all got to go talk to him
Child.
because they ain't got no money. Who you gonna sue? If he didn't got anybody for the human driving thing, and y'all keep talking about reparations when he didn't lay it out
Child.
clearly, and y'all keep going back to the slavery term, and once you move somebody from one spot to another spot,
Mm-hmm.
that's driving. That's
Right.
human driving.
Right. That's human driving. Starts with a T, ends with a well, I guess G. Y'all know what we talking about.
So, I mean, to me, that would be easier to prove than the whole slave narrative.
We trying to put them up on game, Brother Sean, but they ain't hearing us though.
Okay, then keep doing the same thing, keep getting the same results, and that's considered to be insane.
Right.
I mean, uh, I digress.
Very good point, Brother Sean. Good to hear your voice. Um, okay, so I just real quick wanted to just show you, and then I do want to do some quotes out of Brother Lee Cummings' body of work as well. Let's see. I'm just gonna start here. Together with the Borgies, they were the second estate, and both of these black European tribes oppressed who? The whites, who were reduced to serfs. The elite even use, I ain't gonna go into that because I don't feel like the shenanigans with YouTube, but y'all see it right there on the screen. The French Revolution brought the nobility down. Okay. All right. So it's just proving that point. And then in the other body of work, that we went over. He said the same thing. The Negro rulers of Scotland and the British Isle also says, because I don't want you to think that, Rhonda woke up out the bed, Codfried woke up out the bed. Okay, and maybe the gentleman, I know his last name is Johnson. I want to say it's Jonathan Johnson that wrote this book. The Negro rulers of Scotland and British Isle. The white peasant blood slowly spilled into the royal Negro Moorish blood following the what? The French Revolution. Okay? All right. Let's get back on just real quick. And then, child, we ain't even got into the regular material. into Brother Lee Cummings, The Negro Question, Part 7. Swathi Memoirs of a Black American Revolution, 1775 to 1783. Okay. Now, it was interesting. Again, it takes years to do genealogy. Okay. So you're just not going to get all of your genealogy, a breakdown over some months. It takes years because it's like a puzzle piece. And to be honest, it's like research. If you really, really want to be honest, it's like research. It takes years. Okay? So that's why I personally do some, take a break, do some, take a break, do some, take a break. Well, I got back to the point on one of the lines, one of my family lines, where I was in this revolution time frame. Okay? And I found a relative that fought in the Revolutionary War. Okay? So now if I were to use the doctrine that have been taught, oh, well, girl, that's why you light skinned. Okay? Because I knew it. I knew you had white blood in your family. Oh, no, I just, I went to Blood's military. Although I got that particular ancestor because his wife was blackety black. Okay. But just in case people want to say, oh, see that's what I'm saying. One of your relatives, they married a white man or they was a white man's bed wench. Okay. All right. And if that was the case, it was the case. Let the chips fall where they may. Okay. So I see that's an old man, and I see a military record for him. And I'm like, okay, let me pull up this military record. Blackety black, blackety black on the military record as well. Okay?
Hey, sis.
Yes, sir.
What people don't think about is all the time maybe it wasn't a bed wench situation. It was a situation of safety, of having a man around. I mean, it's just all different scenarios that have taken place, and to always go to the furthest extreme. Some people just made choices like that back then, as they do now. People choose to be with whoever the fuck they choose to be with.
Right.
I mean, all those situations are negative, and you are who the fuck you are.
Exactly.
I mean, whoever your ancestors are, whatever your lineage is, right now, that's who the fuck you are. That's what you're comprised of, like it or not. And the people that sit up and try and deny it or say, no, not me, instead of the other, knowing full well that, you.
Yeah.
You hate yourself. But I digress.
Yeah. And just like when we talk about those slave master records, and you'll see where family members were owning family members, that was for safety. Because you had wars that had jumped off. So that was a family putting their family members up under them to protect them. Okay? And you can look at the record and you can see, okay, that was, Papa such and so, and you got a record on Papa being melanated, but here's this slave schedule, and you see Big Mama on the slave schedule. Okay? It was
One
still.
more thing,
I'm
sis.
sorry. Go ahead, Brother Sean.
All this ancestral blame.
Child.
What the fuck is a motherfucker doing right now to straighten some shit out? We talking about ancestral shit from way back then. What about all these motherfuckers that's still surviving off our people that have been inflicted by crack?
Child.
And people still sitting up selling that shit to their own people. Not only that, but the other shit.
Right?
And then you get mad at these other people when they breaking out these EpiPens and doing everything they can to say they people, then you get mad about it. What about the black people? What about the crack? You still surviving off the crack. So what the fuck is you even opening up your goddamn mouth for?
Ooh.
Until we straighten up our shit,
Absolutely.
we ain't got the right to be saying nothing about damn other motherfucker. Because the
Right.
only reason that anybody can do what they doing is because we do it to ourselves. So everybody else figure, look, if they do it to themselves, it's okay for everybody else to do it to them. They're the ones that created every goddamn thing. They're the ones that run shit. All this shit is theirs. If they choose to act that way, then that means that's the way shit's supposed to be. They emulate every fucking thing we do, good or bad. Unfortunately, majority of the shit that they emulate nowadays is low vibrational because that's what
Right.
the fuck we putting out.
Yeah.
This shit ain't gonna change till we change it. Ain't no Republican gonna change it. Ain't no Democrat gonna change it. Ain't no independent party member or Green Party member. Whatever the fuck you swing it with. Whatever your political party, political affiliation, ain't none of that shit gonna help a motherfucking thing. Cause it's already a bankrupt company. The Pope said the shit was over. Trump said the shit was over. I mean, the motherfuckers who allegedly and supposedly run shit that y'all worship, then already told you the shit was over.
Right.
It's a reset. It's a new game plan going in order. You've been told to
Mm.
figure out who the fuck you are.
Right.
You ain't doing that. Or if you are doing that, you ain't taking it to the next step. That's just opening up the door, finding out who the fuck you are. It's not what you gonna do. What does being that mean? Indian, Aboriginal, what does it mean in action?
Mm.
What
That
does the
part.
Indian do? What were our ancestors doing when they owned everything? Or let's just say when they were in harmony with mama. Because that's what it's all about, getting back in
Indeed.
harmony with her. Because
Indeed.
other than that, you ain't going to eat a motherfucking thing. You going to keep eating this old GMO, non nutritional shit that they give you and never know what no real food tastes like. That's all on you. This the shit you accept. This the shit you consent to. All
Indeed.
the shit you consent to when you got time to come over here and talk shit about anything. It don't matter if we came on the air and farted for 3 hours.
Well, not
You got
three
so much
hours
shit.
though.
I'm just saying, sis, I ain't got it to go three. I could probably give you a good hour.
Well, dang, that's a lot of farting. But go, go ahead
I
brother
love
Sean.
beans, sis. I
Oh, okay,
love
yeah,
beans.
baby, and I love pinto, but baby, watch out, I can't eat them like that. But go ahead, brother Sean.
Yeah, I mean, you have too much shit you need to do. Ain't nothing else for you to be worried about but what the fuck you need to do. And everything will work itself out after that. Just take care of your part. But I digress.
Indeed, indeed. Um, okay. So, Nikki Sunflower, drop in the comments. What are you confused about? Now, the good thing about over here, the people in the comments that rock with us, we got some heavy hitters in the comments. So, they could probably answer your question, whatever you're confused about. Okay, so just, if you want to, beloved, I'm
Fuck
not.
around and find out.
No. And I don't even think they're trying to be nasty.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just saying.
In a good way, yeah, because they own their
Right.
shit over here. They really are. So if you feel comfortable enough, drop what you're confused about in the comments, and maybe somebody can help you out. All right, so just back to the Negro Question Part 7, Swarthy Memoirs of a Black American Revolution, 1775 to 1783. Shout out to Brother Lee Cummings for this body of work. Baby, I'm on page 11, right? The 5 Black Founding Fathers of the 13 colonies. For the slow ones in the back. Now, when we want to talk about reparations, people. Hold on, child. Look at me. I'll be the main one. I don't want to lose my page. Reparations, people. I'm going to say this again. Right? This is Amy telling you again. You're having the wrong discussion. You will never win a reparation argument on a blanket statement that white folks enslaved black folk. Because can't be the case. The records don't say it. The numbers don't add up. Okay? 1619 Project, your stuff is raggedy than a can of sauerkraut, like my papa used to say, rest in power. Raggedy as a can of sauerkraut. 1619 Project people. It's raggedy. You ain't proved it either. Your premise out the gate, you ain't proved. Okay? But what we do have are records of a bunch of Europeans coming over here in 1619. So you kind of told on yourself there, 1619 Project. Okay? We do have another source, Jacobite Gleaming, and thank you, brother, for reminding me. I'm like, God damn it, okay, it ain't in this book. I know I ain't crazy. I got a book with the ship manifest. Shit. I know, because I did a drop on it, and I read the people on there, and it was blackety black, brown, brown, blackety black, black, Caucasian. Okay? So even with that, reparations people, you're having the wrong discussion. Okay? Because on page 11, it's called The 5 Black Founding Fathers of the 13 Colonies. 1607, Virginia founded by Black Scott King James I. Let me just jump back over here. Who was James Stewart Nim? You mean James Stewart Nim that came from Kenneth McAlpin? Half black Scot and half black Pite. And you just go through the lineage. Kenneth, the Niger, the Dub, the Duff, or Duffy, all the way down to James Nim. You mean that James Stewart? Oh, okay, baby. Yeah, baby, I don't get into them Hebrew tribes. So, baby, Annie can't help you on that. I ain't even finna sit up here and lie. I promise you. I can be like, baby, whatever you say on that Hebrew stuff. Because I can't break that down. I understand, beloved. No worries. So, you mean that King James? Huh? Blackity black King James. So let's just go over here this again. The 5 black founding fathers of the 13 colonies. Now I want you to remember 1619 Project, people, reparations for slavery, people. I want you to pay attention. King James, 1607. Virginia founded by Black Scott. 1620, Massachusetts, Maine, King James. 1620, New England, King James. 1632, Maryland, King Charles. Okay, because, you know, I don't want y'all to think that got whitened up also. Okay? Because, you know, Charles is still blackity black up and all through here as well. I'm trying to find Charles. Yeah. Charles and them black too, okay? Okay, because I want us to be clear. 1619 Project, people, and reparations discussion for transatlantic slave trade. Your premise is based on what? Because the founding fathers of the 13 colonies, King James, King Charles, black. Okay, so Virginia, James, black. Massachusetts, King James, black. New England, King James, black. 1632, Maryland, King Charles I, black. 1629, New Hampshire, founded by King Charles I, black. 1636, Rhode Island, founded by King Charles II. Wait, King Charles II? Who had the nice curly hair? And I apologize to, you know, King Charles's family, because, baby, I thought that was a wig. Really, I thought you had put a wig on. I didn't know that was your hair. I apologize, sister. Apologize up in advance. Because, baby, your pressing curl was on point. I ain't finna sit here and lie. Looked beautiful. All right? You mean the one that was known as the black boy? That was literally his little nickname? Oh, yeah, that. So I'm still waiting on where these Caucasians was ruling over these Africans. Okay? So, 1638, Delaware, King Charles II. Yeah, that King Charles known as the black boy. All right? 1663, North Carolina. King Charles II, the black boy. 1636, Connecticut. King Charles II, you mean the black boy. 1681, Pennsylvania, King Charles II, the black boy. 1663, South Carolina, King Charles II, the black boy. 1664, King James, the Duke of York, founded Jersey, black. 1732, Georgia, founded by the black Germans, King George II. So where was the white people? Where was the white people involved? Okay, so here's just another example. Okay, wait a minute, because I know George was up in here too. Because I don't want, here go George in the lineage too. Because I don't want y'all to think that Lee Cummings had lied upon somebody. Okay? So you got another story. This is coming from the Negro rulers of Scotland and British Isle. Also saying King George, blackety black black. Same as Brother Lee Cummings. Blackety black black black. So 1619 project. Your foundation is very, very shaky. Reparations representatives, you haven't proven your argument. Okay? But let's continue, because I don't want you to think that, maybe by some, okay, well, so what? Rest of the people that came over here, they was Caucasian. Oh, okay, well, the Highlanders are pretty much known. Now, I'm still on the Negro Question, Part 7, Swarthy Memoirs of a Black American Revolution, 1775 to 1783 by Brother Lee Cummings. I'm on page 12 now. Okay? So he's saying that the Highlanders are generally known for brown complexion and almost always with black curled hair and dark eyes. So the spreadsheet below is from a ship's manifest that describes the Black Highlanders as they are boarding prison ships. Wait a minute. What? Hold up. Wait a minute. Didn't I tell you that when you hear that term indentured servitude, that you need to look at it from two perspectives? Either they came over here on employee contracts, or they came over here to serve out a prison sentence. But let's continue. So, they was boarding the prison ship. They are described as black men. Okay, so Joseph Ritson is the source for that information. Okay, so the Scottish Highlanders. So I'm finna just go through this list. Okay, because remember, this is a ship manifest. So this is why reparations people and, anybody else that want to sit up here and argue about lineage, this, that, and the other. Now, Annie, I don't argue lineage because I'm not finna argue with you who my mother, who my father is, who my grandparents are, great-granny them. I'm not finna argue with you who Big Mama and Papa and them is. I'm not finna do that. Okay? All right. Because when you come to me and tell me that I'm from Africa, I'm going to ask you to prove it. And I don't want to hear, no, because, well, see, sister, with the myrrh incense, okay? And you got on the dashiki, this, that, and the third, 4, 5, and 6. Telling me what scholar this and scholar that say. No, I need specifics. Brother. I need specifics. I need to know if I'm from Africa. I need you to run me that ship manifest where my people them came from, okay? I need you to run me that. Run me that ship manifest, okay? Because even if the ship manifest said they were from Europe and you still claiming they from Africa, then you should be able to go to Europe and get the ship manifest from my people coming from Africa. So coming from Africa to Europe to the Americas. I need you to run that proof to me, beloved. And while you running my proof, baby, I need you to run me your proof. What a DNA test. I'm going to tell you again, brother. I don't want to hear nothing about no DNA test. I need you to run me them records. Okay? Okay, precious. That's what I need you to do. But let's get back to this ship manifest. Okay? About these. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother Sean. Yes, sir.
Okay, since Africa was the cradle of civilization, writing, everything originated in Africa, right?
Right.
According to them.
Right.
So wouldn't they have records of who was taken? I mean,
Uh-huh.
wouldn't people still be looking for their lost
I
family
I
members?
I I I I I would did think that it's so. And I would have thought that those people would have sued, said Brit and them, and said American them. But continue. Do tell.
It's just gods, kings, everything originated there. And they can't keep accurate records. Um, they've seemed to have written down all these old scrolls and stuff on the pyramid walls and all this, that, and the other, but nothing about people being stolen and taken over to the new world.
Right.
I mean, they have militaries over there.
Right.
And when they at the UN and rubbing shoulders with China and Putin and all them folks they be kicking it with,
Right.
they don't be saying shit about the quote unquote African American.
Right.
And none of their plans got shit to do with African Americans. They
Right.
over there trying to get their shit back. They in touch with who they are. They ain't
Right.
sitting up arguing or debating with people as for who they are. We the only motherfuckers doing that.
Exactly.
But this is the only place that you can come to and pretend to be somebody else anyway.
You can the land of America where you can be anybody you want to be.
Yeah, I mean, you can come over here and be a whole American, even though your genealogy, your ancestry, your DNA, everything say that you a completely different motherfucker, but you get here and then you're miraculously an American.
Right.
But I digress.
All of that part. All of that part. So, brother Akbar, I need you to run me them records, my brother. Peace and blessings. So, let's get to page 12. Let's go ahead on run down this just a snippet of this ship manifest, okay, of prisoners. They was board in a prison ship, okay? So Joseph Ritson is his source, okay? Oh, my bad. Oh, hey, I just noticed. Also from Jacobite Gleanings manuscript, page 48. All right, Lee Cummings, I'm just catching this, that you got that from that. See, ain't nobody come to play with y'all and wake up out the bed and y'all claiming we done set up and made this information up. Okay? So let's go through it. George Samuels, 18, Brown. James Donald, 20, brown. Andrew Matthews, 20, dark complexion. So I'm still waiting on this Caucasian. Okay? Still waiting on that. Okay? William Jackson Brown, lusty. Now, y'all know what lusty means behind that. Donald McDonald, swarthy. Because, see, y'all like to come in our comments also and claim that swarthy ain't black. Okay? And that's when you want to throw out the argument with a light-skinned olive. And like I done took and told y'all, don't come in my comments talking about Angelina Jolie. It's described as an olive. Because, again, I am an olive connoisseur. Okay? I know a black olive when I see one. I know a green olive when I see one. Okay? And I know one that's like purplish brown. And last time I checked, Angelina Jolie ain't none of them colors. Okay? So I don't know where y'all getting out of your behind that swarthy really means an olive. So even that argument, are you kidding me? Do you understand what you're talking about? So let's get to ruddy. Duncan Campbell, ruddy. Okay? Now in the melanated community over here in Americans, we call that kind of like red bone-ish. I could be wrong, but I think that's what ruddy is. John Cunningham, dark complexion. Hugh McPhee, black and sturdy. I wonder what that lusty meant back in the day. Oh, no. Yeah, I said John Cunningham is black and sturdy. Hugh McPhee is black and lusty. Daniel Dingwell Brown. John Bowie Nut Brown. Oh, he was a youngin'. He was only 14. Duncan Orr, 14, brown. James Reed, 18, brown. George Hume, 30. Oh, so they put he was a writer. He was a writer. He was a black man. Okay? So he pulled this snippet out of Jacobite Gleaning. Page 48. You can literally go get the whole volume your doggone self and go through it. I told you it's going to be blackety black, 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 and you'll have a sprinkle of white or two there. Okay? So, again, the founding fathers of the original 13 colonies. Oh, thank you, son Scotty. You know you have to be telling me, baby, what it mean. I'm like, what is, because you know lusty mean now. Oh, I'm lusty. Like, what the heck they mean by lusty? So someone who's lusty is healthy and passionate. Oh, okay. A lusty young farm worker is strong, energetic, tackling each new challenge enthusiastically. Okay. I was like, what do they mean by lusty? But what they got to do with them getting upon this ship? Okay. Right. Thank you for that, son, Scotty. So again, not understanding where the foundation from the 1619 project comes from. I'm not understanding the foundation of the transatlantic African slave trade being millions of Africans. Okay, I'm not understanding, folks not understanding where the original founding fathers of the Americas, which came from Europe, are Caucasian. Okay? When you do true research and true history, you will see this lineage is black. Blackity, black, 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 black. Okay? All right. So just in case you think maybe that the Negro ruler man is wrong, maybe if you think that, what's our guy's name? Codfried is wrong about these blackity black 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 kings. Okay, page 14 of Brother Lee Cummings, The Negro Question, Part 7, Swathi Memoirs of a Black American Revolution, 1775 to 1783. He gives another description, and not him personally. This is what's his source on this one? I think this is published in 33 or 83? 83. Nicholas and Son at the New York Library. A description of the Jacobite royals. Okay, I'm just going to go say that again for the slow ones in the back, because that's yet another myth, okay? That the Jacobites were exclusively Caucasian. When it was documented, they were melanated. Now, were there Caucasians part of that Jacobite movement? Because you do understand it was a political movement. You do understand that the Jacobite rebellion was a political movement, okay? It wasn't a religion, baby. It was a political movement. Thanks, KW. Lusty was another word for non-white. Oh, shout out to KW in the comments. That's our cousin from the UK, okay? See, we learned something. So that would make sense why they were describing them as lusty. Okay, so he's just giving more account of these Jacobites. These particular ones were of a royal lineage. So in other words, because they was all with their political movement, the Jacobites, they kicked a lot of people out. All right. They were sentenced in the court of law. And then, okay, you want to serve this prison sentence over here, or you want to be taken out if your sentence was to be put down, or you want to go on over there into the Americas. All right. So even some of the royals got caught up in it. Okay. So Charles Lenos, Duke of Richmond, son of who? Charles the First of Scotland. Just refresh your memory. Charles First of Scotland. Okay. Blackity, black, black, black. Even in this account, Charles's son, which was became the Duke of Richmond, or I don't know if he was, no, that was his title over in Europe. Duke of Richmond. He was described as black complexion, much like who? King Charles. So, King Charles, the first son, was described as black complexion. And then King Charles II, whose nickname literally was Black Boy. Now, baby, who was Caucasian? 19 people. Your argument, or your allegedly and supposedly story is awfully shaky. Reparations people. This is why your argument will never hold up, because you're having the wrong conversation. All right? John Lord Somers. Okay, he's giving page numbers and everything, baby. Late Lord Chancellor 1651 to 1716. Brown complexion. Daniel Earl of Nottingham, Secretary of State, a tall, thin black man. Charles, Duke of Somerset, reign of Charles II, black complexion. Okay? So remember, these are a description of these Jacobite royals. Okay, so the Jacobites were who? Black folk. Now, that is not to say that exclusively all Jacobites were black. Okay, because in the Jacobite gleaning, there were white/Caucasians on record as well, but majority of them, and I think I am being generous by going with 5%, were white. It's probably really 1%. Okay? And just again, Jacobite is not a religion. It was a political movement. All right? John I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brother Sean.
That part about the bleaching and the white face paint.
Let me go back. Where am I at? Yes, sir.
That had to do with status and probably distinguishing themselves from everybody else. Because you notice that once so-called white people got off into the fray, they were still putting white powder on to make themselves whiter.
Yep. I about fell over when we came across this information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So which one? That's not, because I know he had something else in there. Oh, I think this is what we're looking for. I think this is what we're looking for. Which matter, the proof of blah, 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 their complexion and facial traits show them to be descendants of blacks, Africans, as does the Little Moors, which depiction can also be regarded as mythical forefathers or forefather spirits. Let me just get to it. I'm sorry. Okay. We also notice that the same person is shown in many different ways to the point that portraits do not match. This can be understood as every painter imposing his own sense of beauty on persons who might not have classical good looks, yet there also seem the need to play up the classical African traits. I hate that these African traits are put in there because we were all over, but nonetheless, from which we can conclude they were valued as proof of pure blue blood. The classical African features were thus highly prized as further proof of blue blood in the family bloodlines. Okay, the whitened portraits, as they ruled whites and wanted to legitimize their rule by looking white. In real life, this was often achieved with white face paint and bleach together with blonde wigs. But this makeup was also part of their aesthetics. Like whites today do not seem to like their natural milky color and tan on beaches. That's still not what I was looking for, though. Okay, that's not what I was looking for. Yeah, that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for, Brother Sean, that time we ran up on, maybe this was, where he said that that the black nobles that were in power, they were the ones that commissioned these paintings to be painted over as
I
white.
think it somewhat goes into that at the beginning where it talks about the Blue
Okay,
Kingdom.
okay. Now I called myself looking for it. I'm like, baby, I can't find it. Okay, but nonetheless, hopefully y'all get the gist of what we're saying. You can go back to the earlier episodes, and we did break down where it was planned. Okay, so no one woke up out of the bed, meaning white people did not wake up out the bed and overthrow these black nobles. It was planned. They got put on. Okay. And like I said, in my opinion, that was a classic, what we know today as a reset. Okay. All right. So we finna get back to these black Jacobites. Okay. So I think I did Duke of Somerset, described as black complexion. John, Duke of Buckinghamshire, was Earl of Mulgrave in the reign of King Charles II, brown complexion. Okay, you remember King Charles II, the black boy? Charles, Duke of St. Albans, son of Charles II. Yeah, you know that Charles II they call a black boy. Well, he was described as black complexion, much like King Charles. Okay? Now, again, I am describing folks that were the Jacobites, part of the Jacobite rebellion, but these were the Jacobite royals. So hopefully you understand as I'm reading through these description of them. Their description is blackety black, black, black. And they peoples them, their relatives, are these black nobles. So I'm reading through this. I'm still waiting to see the Caucasianish of it all. Okay? All right. So John, Duke of Newcastle, he was an earl before the revolution, was described as black, ruddy complexion. Heneage Finch, Lord Guernsey, brother of Earl of Nottingham. Didn't they go over Nottingham's? Yeah, because Nottingham was Earl of Nottingham and Secretary of State. He was described as a thin black man. So Lord Westface, he was his brother. And he was the Earl, he was the brother of Earl Nottingham and was the solicitor to King James II. Okay, so he was also described as a tall, thin black man. Yes, sir.
Nottingham. They take you back to the story of Robin Hood.
Do describe, because I wasn't into Robin Hood.
You know, he was up against the sheriff of Nottingham, and it was a Moor who actually taught him and his ragtag bandits how to come together and be a formidable force.
Interesting.
It's a version of it with Morgan Freeman, where Morgan Freeman plays.
Okay. I can probably watch that. Okay.
Yeah, but it just shows you it's just who everything go back to, and the fact that they've written themselves into the story.
Mm-hmm.
They switch places, but that was all by design. So
Exactly.
just that it's all in our face, and then like the last king of Scotland.
Yes.
Everybody thought that he was crazy trying to claim to be the king of Scotland.
Scotland. Sure did. That was in our
And
face too. It was straight
uh,
covertly in our face.
they was telling us that they were melanated. I mean, and who's to say what his actual bloodline was and why he came to that
Right. He was
conclusion?
probably put on. So in other words, they put him in power over there. They went over there, set up a colony, and
Mhm,
you know what I'm saying? He went over there to rule.
mhm,
Because there are records for that also. Because I think it was the African Royal Company, if I'm not mistaken, where Europe, that particular kingdom, I forget under which rulership, set up that African Royal Company, but it wasn't successful. Okay, so in other words, it didn't make no ends. Okay, because I keep telling you all, this is not about race, it's business. And it was even to the point, and I did a drop on it. You have to go back. I can't remember which video it is, fam. Okay, where I have all the sources, this, that, and the third. But nonetheless, you look at the records for what they were doing business as that African Royal Company. And it was basically a trading company. Okay. So they call themselves trying to trade goods between Europe and Africa. And then in addition to that, Europe were sending some of their folks, black people, black Europeans, was sending black Europeans over to African colonies to do what? To work under them indentured servitude contracts. Ain't nobody making this up. It's in the records. Okay? And they had built factories. Okay? And they was trying to do trade up out of there, but it just was not profitable. Okay? And they even had a list of course, an account for what was coming out of Africa over to Europe and what was coming from Europe over to Africa. And as those particular colonies were set up, the factories to do business, it was given the specifics on what type of business they were doing. It just was not profitable. Okay, so that's why that particular company went bust. All right. There was even an account where it was a black European who went over there to work. And then baby, somebody was trying to put him on the ship to be a slave over in America. He's like, wait a minute, hold up, blood. What you talking about? I'm a European. I'm a black European blood. I'm just over here working. Go with that bull S9. Here go my working papers. You could take that up the street. I ain't got nothing to do with that. So that's why the information that sister posted about 1619, and she went into the records of the Virginia Company. That's powerful. It's proof. It's documentation that this was about business. It wasn't about race. Okay? All right. So again, we got Duke of Newcastle. We went over Lord Gurney. And we went over the last one is Earl of Feverham, a middle-statured brown man. This description of the black Jacobite royals, Scottish Highlanders, and black Britons Welsh comes to us from a very reliable source, the English Secret Service. Okay? So again, the founding fathers what they're calling the founding fathers of the Americas are black men. King James Stewart, King Charles Stewart I, King Charles II Stewart, also known as the Black Boy, King James II, and King George. The inhabitants of Britain belong to very different races. Britain was inhabited by the Black Basque. Okay? So where is Professor Boyd Dawkins getting this information? Well, because I don't want you to think that Lee Cummings is making it up. He done made up West of Face them, Dawson's information. We'll just go back. Excuse me, the Negro rulers of Scotland and the British Isle. It tells you where these people came from, okay? And how the McAlpine or Pine lineage came in and mixed with the indigenous people, the Basque, all of that, the Pites, which I translated to the Pits of today. Okay? These were black folks. No matter how you slice it, it's blackety, black, black, black. Okay? Yes, KW says, yes, all of the origin Scottish clans were black. So, still trying to understand 1619 Project, where all these African slaves came from. Just a refresher. Where the millions you talking? Because even with your own, what's the face now? Saying 1619, there's not even records of African slaves from starting in 1619. And we don't even see no millions. From a period of the 1600s to 1875, they only account for 305,000. So what? 1619, I'm confused.
Hey, sis,
Yes, sir.
you have to keep in context out of Africa there. And I did, even some of them say that all life began in Africa, even though
Okay.
they never attach African anywhere to themselves. So if we go by their theory and the amount of pale skins that were actually enslaved and under indentured servitude contract, I guess that would bring the numbers somewhere close if you count them in it.
Right. That's literally what you would have to do. And that's why I said 1619 Project, you're busted, because I think you took that 1619 narrative from the 1619 Kent visitation that shows all of these surnames hitting the shores of America. Okay? Now, I just using a little logic. Okay? Trying to put two and two together. Okay? Because so far, what we've been going through, I have not seen a mass amount of Caucasians. Seen a mass amount of blacks. So then you add in the Jacobite gleaning, blackety black black, blackety black, blackety black black, black 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 black. So you have a problem, 1619. You have a problem, people that are using the argument of reparations based on the African slave trade. The data does not back you up. Okay? When you're using an argument with race involved, that white people are enslaved black people, you got an issue. Because we don't see that in the records. Even the people that had the control, okay? So the people that had the power and the control to sanction slavery were black. So your whole argument that a slavery is exclusively white people enslaving black people, it failed right there. Because if the founding fathers were black, the people that they were putting on the ships kicking out of Europe, all them people was black. Okay? And even some of the royals got caught up in getting kicked out and banned from Europe because that was a life sentence. Black. You go to slave records and you see slave masters as black, owning black people. And just a own account of, let me just go back. Jefferson. President Thomas Jefferson, who had, what? Black European ancestry. And he was apparently famous for what? White slaves, reparation people, you have a big problem because you are having the wrong discussion. Okay? All right, so I'll pause. In case Brother Sean, you want to put something on it, and I'm going to get back to originally what we was talking about.
I love until their perspective changes, they just gonna keep reaching for the same old, because that's the American dream. That's all people keep talking about. 40 acres and a mule. Hollywood then sensationalized
Oh
that
my God.
to the point where niggas can't think about nothing but that. I mean, if you're gonna talk about 40 acres and a mule, at the time that that was said, what would that translate over to today? I mean, it would have to be more than the original 40 acres.
Right.
And what would the mule be upgraded to? It's just the fact that people keep asking for dumb shit. And that's what they keep getting.
Right.
Dumb shit. If it's all yours and you're who you claim you are, and you able to find all these land patents with these hundreds and thousands of acres, what you asking for anything for? I mean, shouldn't you be asking for back rent, back taxes, and shit like that, or evicting a motherfucker like they evict you?
Child.
I'm I'm just saying. I mean, people saying too much and ain't showing nothing. I mean, it's all about action.
Exactly.
What are we going to do? What are we doing? You'd be surprised at who ready to move and make some shit happen when motherfuckers decide they want to do something. Ain't nobody gonna sit up here and tell you everything they got, what they think, and what they can make happen.
Right.
For for motherfuckers to block shit, for motherfuckers to hate on shit. When you move into that proper frequency, when you really are ready for change and you start being proactive, you'd be surprised at the shit that's gonna manifest. But as long as you keep harping on the past, keep trying to be your ancestors, keep trying to read that, that's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You on deck now is what the fuck you gonna do right now.
Right, right.
You got you got children. This is about them. What are you leaving them? We on deck now. Ain't no time for no more excuses. All this debating about shit, that's nothing. If you know who the fuck you are and you this big bad motherfucker, this big bad scalper Indian, where the scalps at? I mean, wasn't the price put on scalps? I mean, you want donations, you want PayPal, this, that, or the other. I mean, they paid for scalps. But I digress.
Well, damn. All right. So it was in the first part. You right. That's why we spent so much time on the very first one. So reparations, people. Okay. This is why, beloved, your what's a face majig argument. It's not gonna work. Okay. Because this whole argument of white people Christianize black people, all of the shit is fake. You got to reverse everything literally that they told you. Intermarriage to remain black of complexion and a noble lifestyle were both required. They self-styled as protectors against the Normans, civilized and Christianized the white Europeans, who had only 6,000 years earlier arrived from Central Asia and who now became the serfs, which the nobility exploited. 1619 people. Reparations for the transatlantic slave trade people. Had the black nobles exploiting the serfs. And the serfs were the white folks. Okay? And we're not going to go into all of the cruelty that took place. Okay? Because I don't feel like all of that. All right? So the exploitation of whites was regarded as the will of God. Theirs was a caste society with whites as outcasts. This information illustrates better why why there was a need for a declaration of the declaration of the whites as outcasts. This information illustrates better why there was a need for, God damn it, Rhonda, I must be getting tired, y'all, my bad. The Declaration of the Rights of Men, 1760. 1619 people, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. 1619 people, we have a problem. Because why up in Europe, they had to have a Declaration of the Rights of Man in 1760 because the white serfs asked their noble masters to be accepted as human beings. 1619 people, we have a problem. Reparations people for the transatlantic slave trade, we have a problem. Because if white people was running stuff all up and throughout stuff, white people that you claim somebody's stealing your heritage 4, 5, and 6, and you wants to be the slave master, baby, we got a problem. Because if whites was ruling in Europe, why did they need a Declaration of Rights in 1760?
They ain't mentioned nothing about the white women.
Well. You mean with the
But I want
Go ahead, Brother Sean.
with the Declaration of Rights for men. That was them trying to establish rights for white men.
So you're not talking about the swirlery of it all. You're not talking about that. I wonder if the Caucasian women back in the day cut their hair in a certain style to let it be known that they was up for the swirl. Okay, Rhonda, stay focused. Stay focused. I'm just saying, Caucasian women, I don't care if that's, baby, swirl on. Melanated men, I don't care. Swirl on, do you. I have no issue with it. All I'm saying, Caucasian women, that you get that motherfucking side bob, you know, for your advertisement. Baby, you need to update that. Because I had my play sister rolling when I came back up north. And I just kept seeing all these white women with this side motherfucking bob. You know, with the hair tapered in the back. And I'm like, I wore my shit like that in the 90s, baby. You could not have told me I wasn't popping. You understand me? And I said to my play sister, I said, why all these white women got black girl haircuts? And she was like, oh, girl, yeah, that's the what those are the white women that mess with black men. I hollered. I said, well, baby, they do know we wore that shit in the 90s, right? That you know, we done moved on to something else. Okay, stay focused, Rhonda, stay focused. But again, I don't care.
Sis.
Yes, sir.
But I'm sure that they was doing it whenever they could back then, considering who the true royalty was. So any opportunity to try and get off into the bloodline.
You mean the white
just like
women?
Yeah.
Yeah, why wouldn't they? Shit. Why wouldn't they?
Men too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Women, we're a little more selective.
okay, I'm not gonna go too much into the.
I'm not saying that it didn't happen. But continue.
Leave the earth behind. It was black exploitation as far as the daughter, because she was sexualized.
Uh-huh.
You could tell from the camera angles, this, that, or the other, that they meant for her body to be focused up. I mean, she was supposed to have been over 18, but they
Supposedly and allegedly.
right, but they picked this little petite girl
Hmm.
who could pass for somebody's child. First, the son sitting up there taking pictures of her while she out by the pool. Then later on, the father smoking weed with her, this, that, and
It
the other.
sounds like grooming to me, but continue.
And while she's in there smoking weed with the white father, her father is in there drinking and dancing with Julia Roberts. And then they start slow dancing and embrace. And she get to saying that, my husband is in the other room, and you get to saying, I love my wife, I love my wife. But something happened to interrupt that moment.
Mm-hmm.
That at first she's all prejudiced towards them, this, that, and the other, not
This the
believing
Julia
this the
Roberts
house.
character or the young
The
girl?
Julia Roberts
Okay,
character.
okay, okay. Mm-hmm.
And then once she realizes that that is his house and he has all this money and he's affluent, she ready to do something and her husband in the next room.
Oh, okay. So it was like, hey, really?
Yeah, I'm just saying, just the subliminal messages.
Child. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if the whites were on the bottom, why wouldn't
Mhm.
women want to marry up? It is what it is. Again, I don't have no problem with it. I don't have no. It's not impacting me. Love who you want to love. That's none of my business. Okay.
What's happening before I got here and it's gonna be
It's
happening
going
when
to,
I'm
baby,
gone.
swirl on. I ain't got nothing to do with that. So ain't no need when you out as a interracial couple. If you are comfortable being an interracial couple, ain't no need you looking in my face. Cause I don't give a damn, baby. You understand me? I don't care. And I don't want y'all to think that it just be the Caucasian women doing it, because it be brothers doing it like here. And I'm like, okay, Ann, that's supposed to mean what to me? That's why this whole conversation of swirling is fucking stupid. Because if you lay with who you want to lay with. How the hell that's impacting me? It's not impacting me. And in my opinion, if you have to run around throwing up, you calling yourself throwing up in somebody's face who you lay with, that means something's wrong within you. You're not comfortable with something. Love who you want to love. I don't give a damn. And furthermore, grow the fuck up. All right, so that was just that public service announcement. But let's get back to these white people. I'm still not seeing where they're in power, okay? Because we done went through the blackity black of the founding fathers, okay? All the way back to the Scotland dynasty black, okay? So now we're into also where the whites fit into this picture. So 1619, I say again, people that advocate for reparations based on race. If white people were in power, why was there a need for the Declaration of the Rights of Man in 1760? Because the white serfs at least recognize me as human. Damn. Okay? So who invented human race? Because, we hear that also too. White man invented the idea of race. Was the black elite, the black intellectual elite, invented human races and placed the whites, the majority of the population, for the strategic purposes at the top of the evolutionary ladder, and the Moor or black all the way below, just above the great apes rather. So when did this happen? French Revolutionary War is where it initiated a change and brought the middling classes, the capitalist elite, to power, but little change for the poor working class people. Okay? So just to be clear, who was in power? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Where is this happening again?
Europe, right? Or am I misreading?
No, not at all. I'm just making sure. And they say the Moor was placed on the bottom in Europe, right?
Yep, that's what it say.
Mhm.
Okay.
Don't say nothing about the Americas, right?
No.
No. Okay.
Oh, hell no. Why I'm the slow one in the back tonight?
So if
Well, gone, Brother
if
Sean.
they were if they were being put at the bottom in their own homeland, the throne of their empire over there in Europe, how is they all over the world conquering shit?
Child, now I done scratched up in my scarf. That's a great.
I mean, it's just a question. I mean, I ain't knocking nobody, but it's just too many questions to be answered. I mean, there's just so much shit that they got to straighten out because, like they say, they went to sleep and put them people in charge. I mean, they started the bleaching, the face painting, changing pictures, creating races, and all this type of stuff. And
Right.
then just said, well, we gonna put ourselves at the bottom. You running the whole world allegedly and supposedly. And for the fuck of it, you just say, I'm gonna go to sleep. I wanna be at the bottom. And when we wake up, they gonna give it all.
Right, they're gonna return power back.
I mean, how many times do they have to
You
say get to
breaking up.
work?
You breaking up, Brother Sean.
Yeah, ain't they been hollering? But ain't they been hollering that they woke? Ain't they been reciting these treaties and all this, that, or the other?
Right.
I mean, do you know everything they claim that they empower and they paperwork and this, that, or the other. And they have a government, but they just abandoned it. And um, when do they open up their offices? Because we keep being told the White House is shut down.
You say where
All
they
this.
offices at? Right.
Yeah, I mean, when you gonna open them some bitches up? I mean, y'all allegedly know everything. If somebody decides to join the Moorish Science Temple, y'all automatically know what the name is and know what to affix to it, a L or Bay. So y'all already know who the fuck all the indigenous people is. All you got to do, open up your office and get the dispenser money. And
Not
just,
dispense.
yeah, it's time to dispense and disperse. They need to dispense us our ends and disperse their children.
Right.
But I digress.
Right. And that's a good point because that's why, fam, when we talk about knowing your lineage, that's why be careful when you take on these titles and associate it, excuse me, fam, to your heritage. All right? Because this is why I would never take on any title of Moor. No disrespect to the Moors. But, when I think of Moor, I think of out of North Africa. That's not where my lineage goes. Okay? So those Moors that are using that title of Moors and attaching it to their heritage and not as either a description of their skin color known as the Moors, a nomenclature of, he was a Moor. You're playing a dangerous game because you can't have it both ways. You can't say that Moor is your lineage, but you from the Americas. How, Sway? Make it make sense. The math ain't mathing for me. Okay? This is why we tell you it is important to understand these titles that you are taking on. Okay? Even with the whole Indian thing, I am not arrogant to say, oh, yeah, I'm 100% American Indian. No, because that's not what the records say. It says my bloodline is admixture of American Indian and Black European. Okay? It is time to use critical thinking and stop following doctrine and stop trying to be in the in crowd with these titles. Be emotionally mature and stand in truth for these babies. There's no excuse for us to have another generation growing up with misinformation and letting someone label them with the broad stroke of a brush of who they are. Each family should be keepers of their records of the family lineage. No one should be able to come and tell you who you are outside of the family. Okay? So again, this is just another example. Now, we didn't went over the African thing. Brother Akbar, all due respect, my brother, beloved, I need you to run me them ship manifest. Ashe, ashe, ashe. It's no excuse for the foolery. It's time to grow up. It's time to think critically. Because reparations, people, not seeing where you're going to ever win your case based on a transatlantic slave with a broad brushstroke. If you black and if you in the Americas, you was an African slave where the numbers don't support you. The history, the true history states that even the founding fathers themselves were black. And again, I need you to run me those ship manifests. 1619 Project people. You said that stuff, because see, I don't want to lie upon you. I don't want y'all to think Amy is sitting up here being irritated in her with her scarf, scratching and shit. Y'all know I get sleepy and I get to scratching or my nerves get bad. So, as Brother Sean say, the ancestors say, your premise is, and Smithsonian, you can go somewhere because we know y'all known liars. Anytime you dig up an artifact, baby, you better off just keeping it in your basement, honey. Because if it's of something of some value and some proof, Smithsonian and them fencing to come and snatch that up. So y'all already, Smithsonian, I already don't mess with y'all like that. But 1619 Project people, this African American history and culture, and you start out the gate talking about some Middle Passage, you got to prove it. Because that ain't what these numbers say. The math ain't mathing. Okay? And then you hit the nerve on page 29, talk about Crispus Attucks, who was a black European. He was not an African slave. He probably had mixed lineage. I'll have to look into it a little bit more. So meaning American Indian and black European. Okay, at a minimum, I give him that admixture. You got a problem. Because again, how all of that slavery was jumping off, from the evil white man Europeans, slave traders, King James, King Charles and them, although they were black. In the 1600s, but yet over in Europe itself, they had to have a Declaration of the Rights of Man in 1760 for the white serfs. None of y'all arguments hold up, okay? So we know exactly when the power started to change, or the face of power started to change from black to white. We already know the French Revolution War. Okay? That's when it started to change. Okay? All right, y'all, I'm getting tired. I said I was going to go longer, but I think because I didn't have go ahead on with the fuckery, I'm finna stop. Damn it, I didn't even pick up where we left off, but we'll get into it next week. All right, because my voice is getting froggy. Brother Sean, you have any last words?
Well, healing. That's what we need as a people. Can't move forward with nothing in the right mindset if you're still stuck on bullshit.
Agreed.
If you're not willing to stand in the truth of who you are, you might as well just be ready to do this shit all over again. You need to bring everything into balance, even going into this higher realm. This technology is here. It ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Ain't nothing new about it. Just don't lose yourself in it. A lot of things that were third dimensional ain't gonna translate over to higher dimension, but your soul is, your spirituality is, your connection to mama is. So even with this technology, you have to balance it out with nature.
Absolutely.
You can't let all of nature be taken over to keep building bullshit.
Right.
You cut down a tree, you plant 7 more. You got to give back. Mama been giving, she's still giving, and y'all don't appreciate shit.
So disrespectful.
But I love y'all, bonus and power.
All right, fam. So, in my defense, I was gonna go into overtime, but since we done had an Annie and Unk moment, we got a lot accomplished tonight, and now my voice is gone. So we will resume back next week. I'm looking at the dates. Yeah, y'all be good for next week. Okay, so we will resume next week. Again, shout out to Sis Sandra. Sis, I hope you enjoy your born day, sis. Hope you sipped a little wine. Okay, it did you. Okay, relax, whatever the case may be. So I hope you enjoyed yourself today, sis. Shout out to the YouTube family in the chat. Okay, great information as always. Sorry I didn't get a chance tonight to interact the way I wanted to. Oh, that's cute, sis Nonya. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, let me do the little birthday thing. So I didn't get to interact with you all. Apologize for that. So shout out to the YouTube family that's watching us live. Honor and respect to Brother Codfried from the Netherlands. Thank you for the body of work that you put out. Y'all could tell my voice is like literally gone. The body of work that you put out. We are really, really enjoying this. We're getting a lot of positive feedback for this information. So shout out to the author. Let me flip because I don't want to be disrespectful and not have his name. And I'm saying I don't want to be disrespectful and still ain't. I wish they would. Okay, I was right. So the Negro rulers of Scotland and the British Isle. A shout out to Dr. John L. Johnson. Okay, so great work. Shout out to Brother Lee Cummings for his particular work. The Negro Question, Part 7, Swathi Memoirs of a Black American Revolution, 1775 to 1783. Okay, this is what that book looks like. Okay, all right. But if you also want to get into exclusively the Black Europeans, rulers, he has the Negro Question, Part 6, the 13 Black Colonies. Again, he lays it all out. Okay, Stewart's them. All here, laid out nicely. Okay? Again, another body of work, the Negro Question, Part 4, the missing link. Okay? So shout out to all of these people who have put their research, their time, their research into putting together these bodies of work. Much respect. It makes it a lot easier for folks like me to be able to come in, look at your stuff. I personally go to sources, okay? And I validate their sources because I've had to not put a lot of stuff on the air because I couldn't validate the sources. Okay? So again, we're into thinking critically over here. Blanket statements just ain't gonna pass. It's not gonna cut it over here. Okay? Over here, we don't mind being corrected. But if you make blanket statements, I'm gonna ask you, please give me more information. Gotta prove it. Okay? All right. So thanks to everybody. Child, my little voice and gave out this, that, and the third, 4, 5, and 6. Shout out to son Scotty. Hope you get home safely. We will link up next week. We are going to go into overtime next week. I know for sure. Because the homework, child, my nerves is bad. I ain't finna sit up here and try to lie to y'all. Trying to get through the movies. Killers of the Flower Moon. It's rough. I'm not gonna lie. It's rough. All right. So I'm gonna try to complete up my homework so we can break that down and discuss it. The other one that son Scotty gave was Leave the World Behind. I haven't even watched that yet. I'm gonna try to get that one in as well, but we'll discuss that next week. I definitely want to get to Killers of the Flower Moon. So, son, we'll save that for next week. All right, and I think that's it, fam. I don't have nothing else, Brother Sean. I think I asked you, but did you have anything else you wanted to say to the fam before we be up out of here? Nope.
Love on yourself.
Huh?
Love on yourself.
Very good. Very well said. I ain't got nothing else to say. So with that said, fam, we love y'all very much. We are Truth Uncompromised, and we are out of here. Peace and love, fam.
Wholeness and power.